Welcome to a new series where we're going to help you understand exactly what's happening with the tariffs on cars. We're going to try and keep things simple and brief. And to do that, I'm going to lean on two great resources we have here at Cox Automotive, lead editor Sean Tucker and executive analyst Erin Keating. Good morning, and thanks to you both for jumping in on this.
Good morning,
Good
Jeff.
morning. Yeah, happy to
Oh,
be here.
oh, great. So let's just dive right in. And I'm going to start with Sean on the more general first question, which is what are these tariffs and what's their broad effect on automotive pricing?
President Trump last week announced tariffs of 25% on cars and car parts entering the country. Uh, Broadly, that will push up the price of pretty much every new car, and as an after effect, every used car, because people who can't afford new cars will take their money to the used car lot. However, there are some rules that haven't been written yet, some important exceptions to some of the dates, so we can't actually know right now, can tell you exactly what a car will cost this summer.
Interesting. Now, Erin, obviously there's a lot of specifics and details that we can dig into relating to how this can affect cars at different price points from various automakers and even dig down into the actual specific parts on a vehicle. Could you give us some insight into the more nitty-gritty elements that consumers should be aware of?
Sure. And I won't be exhaustive because, yes, it's so much nitty gritty that it could really start to bury people in too much information. And as Sean mentioned, we don't have all the specifics just yet. But some things to consider. So, parts aren't going to be tariffed until May 3rd. So, at least for now, let's let everyone just breathe a sigh of relief that that's not something you need to necessarily focus on just yet because new cars and used cars, as Sean said, are both that are going to be impacted quicker. We do know that some of our best sellers, Toyota RAV4, Honda Civic, Honda CRV, the Subaru Forester, like several of these vehicles are manufactured outside of the US, and that those cars are in relatively short supply, especially like the Toyotas, the Hondas, the Lexuses. So some of the most popular brands out there, at least foreign automakers, are going to be potentially getting crunched first because their day supply is already low. Day supply meaning how many days would it take for them to exhaust their inventory on the dealership lot? So if we are running Toyota's average around 32 days, so in 32 days, potentially Toyota could be running really low on supply or out of it, depending on how quickly they're able to make changes to pricing to see how they can absorb this across the model portfolio that they have. The other thing to consider is that US made does not necessarily mean that the vehicles are exempt from tariffs because of those parts tariffs. And again, because we don't know how the manufacturers are going to apply this tariff. So in theory, some of those lower cost vehicles, so those under $30,000, are really going to be impacted. If we just look at it straight across the board, about 78% of those are going to be impacted directly by the tariffs. And those price increases would put most of them over $30,000. Well, a lot of manufacturers trying to sell into that affordable customer set would likely not want the brunt of that to be felt at that particular model level, especially since they're so popular. So you might see them start to spread it out and disperse it across their model portfolio. So it's real difficult right now to tell you exactly what each model and make is going to have on them, and how quickly that impact will hit them.
Sure. When does the general tariff, not you mentioned parts are May 3rd, when does the first part of this go into effect?
In 2 days, April 3rd. So 12:01 a.m. April 3rd, all vehicles being imported across the border will be tariffed at 25%, even those coming from Canada and Mexico as it stands right now. They have said that they are going to work on a way to give credit back and in the future take it out of the upfront tariff on US based content. But they haven't determined how that will be certified just yet, which means that any vehicle coming across any border or through ports will be tariffed at 25%.
Um, and then I have another question because a lot of this is based on pricing, but will this also roll in and affect leases as well?
Sure. I mean, I think we're seeing, the one saving grace is that towards the very end of March, we saw interest rates starting to come down just a bit, and we saw captives sort of responding to the market. That could be because they're trying to soften the blow on what the price increases could be in the future. But because there may be crunches in certain models and others, dealers and automakers aren't as incentivized to incentivize customers to buy the vehicles. And so I think we will start to see some of those really great offers disappear because there's just simply not the margin to take care of them.
Sean, do you have any good resources for people to keep track of all these changes? Because it seems like it's going to be moving potentially quickly as new rules are written and other tariffs hit as the schedule and the calendar moves along.
If you're car shopping right now, the best thing I can recommend is for the models that you're interested in, track the Kelley Blue Book Fair Purchase Price. We base that, we update it once a week, and we base that on the actual sale prices in your area. This is going to move pretty quickly. The cars that are sitting on dealership lots today all came into the country at pre-tariff prices, but that doesn't mean a dealer can sell them to you at pre-tariff prices because they know, if I sell that, I have to replace it with a more expensive car. So their finances are getting complicated. Negotiating prices is going to get complicated, but that fair purchase price being updated weekly will help you see when this is starting to hit the models that you're interested in and help you plan your timing.
Well, obviously, there's more to come. So I'm going to need you two to keep your calendars open because we're probably going to do this call again down the road. But for now, I think we've got a great general picture of what these tariffs are initially going to cause in the marketplace. And I really appreciate you both jumping on this call and giving myself and our viewers more insight.
Absolutely.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you in probably 24 hours.
All right. I'll see you then.